It's dawn in March 2009, and we're with the Metropolitan Police on the way to Wilder Factory in South London. The target isn't a warehouse or industrial unit. It's a house on a quiet residential street. If the police intelligence is correct, not only is the material being manufactured here highly illegal, but its sale is generating millions for organised crime gangs. But the officers aren't searching for drugs or stolen goods. What they're after is something far more commonplace.
Governor. Yes. Address is secured, all personnel on site. There are DVD burners upstairs.
This house has been converted into a counterfeit DVD factory, churning out hundreds of thousands of illegal copies of films. This is illegal film piracy on an industrial scale. There are around 40 DVD burners on the premises, each capable of copying thousands of discs in a single day at next to no cost. Money from their sale would go straight into the pockets of organised criminals.
Just open it up. Obviously, the machines, I believe machines and how many they do, and then it's got figures on the other pages.
This isn't about ordinary people like you and I know, just perhaps making a few quid here and there by burning a few DVDs. This is a highly organised process with violent criminals behind it. DVD piracy is a low-risk, high-profit crime. And the money from that is what funds those other forms of criminality. People trafficking, drugs importation, drugs trafficking, prostitution, extortion. All crimes that cause human misery on a large scale, and is all being funded from DVD film piracy.
This is a recent anti-piracy marketing campaign. The problem is so big that a specialist organisation called FACT, or the Federation Against Copyright Theft, exists to combat it. Largely comprised of ex-police officers, FACT is headed up by former Detective Chief Superintendent Kieran Sharp. Vastly experienced in these type of investigations, for 4 years he ran Interpol's Economic Crime Unit.
We operate like a mini police force. We do our own investigations, observations, surveillance, and we do that in a professional, experienced, knowledgeable manner. We provide an evidential product to our law enforcement partners that they can take forward on our behalf.
It's 10 a.m. and officers from FACT and the Met are preparing to raid a suspicious address in Lewisham in London.
Intelligence suggests that the address is being used by organised crime groups to manufacture, store and distribute counterfeit infringing film media throughout London. We'll enter the address and secure the exit routes and secure suspects present.
FACT have had this property under surveillance for weeks and are sure it's being used as a DVD factory. Eddie Leviton from FACT explains the role they play on raids such as these.
We can provide a lot of the intelligence on the premises and sometimes on the individuals involved as well. But obviously we always need the police to be able to effect the entry into the premises to execute the warrant. So that's the bit that FACT can't do.
Their main hope is that if it is indeed a factory, the people running it will still be there.
Go, go, go. No, don't go. Don't do it.
There are 7 people inside the property. None of them speak English. They're secured and handcuffed whilst police begin a search of the premises.
They're all secured. They're all handcuffed.
House is clear. Right, down the loft.
Placed you under arrest on suspicion of the production of counterfeit goods. Inside the premises, there's about 10 DVD towers found so far on the ground floor. There's a garage here and also an outhouse which they're going to take, a side door to the garage which they're going to go into in a second. Great! What it looks like, they've taken the furniture out of the house to create more space, either to live or to help to produce the DVDs or to store them.
Yeah. So at least 14 towers. 14 towers. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Going to go into the back garden of the house. There's actually the gate here, which the police had to just use a bit of force on to get into. But this door was left unlocked, and inside here are the burners all packed up. And inside this bag, there's all the cables all ready to go. So we're very, very certain that these was a factory that had been operating. They were ready to move out for whatever reason, and they were moving the stuff out through the back garden.
Yeah, that's what I said. Just confirm that's the information.
You're looking at about 6,000 DVDs a day being produced from these burners alone. If you're going on a sort of 12-hour day, average street price at the moment is about £3 per DVD. So, you know, 15 to 20,000 pounds criminal profit being produced just from these burners alone. Chances are if we'd have come tomorrow or the day after, there would have been nothing in the house, so it's really good timing.
But experience tells them the people arrested here are not the ringleaders. They're just foot soldiers, running the factory on behalf of their criminal bosses. And, as is almost always the case, when operations like these are uncovered, the workers all appear to be Chinese.
I will reckon 5 of them from Fujianese background, and the rest, the lady and also her partner, possibly is from the northern part of China because of the accent.
The vast majority of people arrested for running DVD factories in this country come from the same part of China, Fujian province in the southeast. Many Fujianese are very poor and so want to make a new life in the West. But getting legal entry is almost impossible, so for most the only option is to enlist the help of local organized criminals, known as snakeheads.
Snakehead comes from the idea that the head of the snake leads the way into the West. The Fujianese will need to resort to a local snakehead person to arrange the travel documents. He or she will need to pay a sum of money, something between 15,000 to 20,000 pounds to have the journey planned.
Having paid a deposit in China, the rest of the debt has to be settled when they get to Britain. To do this, they need to find a job, but because they're here illegally, most are left with little choice than to go to work for the criminal gangs that brought them here. Whatever job they're given, whether it's selling pirate DVDs, cultivating drugs, or even working as a cockle picker, their role is simple: to make money for their employers, whatever the cost.
Identification, documentation.
Even if the 7 Chinese nationals arrested today are all guilty, they're unlikely to be formally charged.
It's not always easy to prove that they've been working on those particular crimes. And in any event, what we're really after is the people who are behind it, the ones who are controlling it, who are organising it, who are taking the money, who make it happen in the first place.
Upstairs, paperwork is found which hints at the sophistication of this operation.
List of obviously quite new release films. These serial numbers there, so the H226, correspond to quite an extensive catalogue of DVD cover scans that they've got. There's obviously hundreds, if not thousands.
You very often find lists of film titles, sometimes addresses for delivery of the disc to as well.
But the DVDs that have been made here are no longer on the premises. This is typical of this type of setup. The discs are made in one place like this, and then moved to another property to be packaged and passed on to the street sellers for distribution. If the police can find this distribution house and seize the discs before they can be sold, it'll hit the pockets of the criminal bosses hard. Just a few days later, new intelligence comes in about another address in Lewisham that appears to have links to the factory. Could this be where all the discs were sent?
Information's come to light that 2 vehicles have been attending the address, and IC5 Chinese males or males of Chinese appearance have been getting out of those vehicles and seen taking heavy packages into this address. It's a terraced property on the Honor Oak Estate, South East 4.
If this is a distribution house, Eddie knows exactly what they'll see when they enter the property.
We'd expect to find racking and thousands of pirate DVDs waiting to be collected.
You make your way around the back, please.
With no answer at the front door, officers decide to force entry. The house is empty, and there's barely even any furniture on the ground floor. But upstairs, the doors to the 3 bedrooms are all locked.
Which one?
All of them.
All of them?
All locked.
That one's in as well.
It's the discovery police had been hoping for. Tens of thousands of pirate DVDs, ready for sale on the streets of London.
Well, this is clearly a distribution house. You can see the racks of DVDs all ready to be distributed. Looks like quite a sizable one as well. This is going to be a busy house.
The 3 bedrooms have been converted into 3 separate libraries. One for recent releases, one for older film titles, and one for pornography.
We've even classified the porn in different areas as well. So you've got Indian porn here, and then we've got some very nasty bestiality titles down there as well.
Initial estimates suggest there's somewhere in the region of 30,000 counterfeit DVDs in this one house.
30,000 at an average street price of £3, you're looking at potential street value of about £90,000 to £100,000 just from the product that's here today. If there's others operating in the area, you can multiply that up into the millions. So you can see it's a very, very profitable business.
Policing this type of crime is a frustrating business. Whilst it's good to be able to seize so much counterfeit material before it hits the streets, these empty houses provide a reminder of how elusive the people running these operations are. But the tide is turning. In July last year, the Metropolitan Police claimed their biggest scalps yet. 3 men, Sami and Rafi Ashgar Sheikh and their father Khalid, were arrested at the premises of their London business.
What we're going to do is we're going to take you, all 3 of you, to Harlow Police Station, where you'll be given access to legal representation if you want to.
Their company, Samrana Limited, claimed to be importing DVD burners and blank discs and supplying them to legitimate media manufacturers. But in reality, the company was a front for an enormous pirate DVD empire, in which they used their equipment to kit out several huge illegal DVD factories all across London. Although the Ashgar Sheikhs are of Pakistani-Iranian origin, they managed to tap into the huge available workforce of illegal Chinese immigrants looking for work in the UK. These workers were forced to live an almost slave-like existence, living and sleeping in squalid conditions inside the factories where they were put to work. This man, Zin Li, was also arrested. An illegal entrant to the UK himself, he acted as a quartermaster, organising the workforce and running a number of the factories. The whole enterprise was worth something in the region of £7 million. After a 3-year investigation by the Metropolitan Police, in fact, the longest of its kind, the men finally had their day in court. Between them, they were sentenced to a total of 18 years in prison.
In this investigation, what we were looking for was the people who are further up the scale of criminality. It's not people selling DVDs on the streets. This is those who are making it happen. This investigation shows that we can go after the people at the top end of organised crime, and we are going after them, and we will do that again in the future. But the sentences handed down will make those people sit up and take notice, and we are coming for the rest of them.